All right, guys, now we're going to talk about shooting a moving target. We're going to cover two different types of engagement. We're going to talk ambush, we're going to talk tracking. Ambush is where my gun stays static and I wait for the target to move into my sights. The other one is tracking. That's like you're shooting clay pigeons or birds or real people when they're moving. So I'm going to actually track the target. In either case, I'm going to have to lead the target, the leading edge. That's going to depend on how far I am from the target, how fast the target's moving, what kind of gun I've got. Also, which method I'm going to use depends on what position from which I'll be shooting. Am I standing to where I've got a lot of mobility to where I can do the tracking? Or am I in the prone at the distance where it's harder for me to use the tracking? I'll have to use the ambush, okay? Also depends on what angle the targets are. See, right now here on range 3, these targets are perfectly 90 degrees from me. They could be 45 degrees, whatever. So that's all going to depend, or that's all going to dictate how we engage these guys, okay? Now, the rest of us have all shot the paper movers before, and I have a problem with the paper movers as a shooter. Every time after I shot, I wanted to bring my gun down and take a look at where the bullet holes went. That's bad fundamentals of marksmanship. It built bad training scars. That's why we built this steel monster here, range 3. We got 4 steel movers that go the entire width of the range. So we get that instant feedback, just like we've had on some of the other ranges out here today. So that's why we like using this. All right, so the first one we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the ambush method. If you notice, my gun stays static and I wait for the target to come into my field of view. All right, eyes and ears. All right, cool. Now, that's great for a lot of different times, like when you're prone, you got a great position. Doesn't always work the best when you're standing like this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the tracking method. You'll see my gun track the targets. Now I'm gonna lead just a little bit, but here at this distance, I don't really need to lead the targets that much. I can pretty much just hold center mass. They're moving about 8 miles an hour is the fastest one, slowest one's moving about 3 miles an hour, okay? So now I'm gonna do the tracking method for a little bit, okay? Okay, so I'm trying to shoot those rounds when they're in between the paper target, so I don't want to shoot the paper targets. That's why I'm timing my shots like that. All right, for the rest of this magazine, I'm gonna start off with the tracking. I'm gonna start off with the ambush method. I'll finish up the magazine with the tracking method, okay? Starting off, ambush. Now we're going to tracking. All right, guys, those are the two methods that we present here at T1G for engaging moving targets, ambush and tracking. Any comments, please leave them below.